Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Passion Talks. This is our weekly episode. Every Saturday, 8 p.m., we come and we interact with very, very exciting people. We've been having Mount Everesters, we have had ultra marathoners, Olympians. And, today we have another exciting guest amongst us. He is Mr. Gangadhar. And before we start, a few ground rules. I'll request everyone to keep the mic on mute so that there's no disturbance whenever we are listening to Sir. And then other things remain the same. We'll have a 40-minute session. After that, based on the interactions, we'll be taking questions. You are requested to ask as many questions as possible. Keep writing on the chat box, and then we can take it once the thing gets over. So welcome, Gangadhar sir, to our episode of Passion Talks. And rather than me speaking, I would love to hand over the mic to you to share about your experiences, how your thing of unschooling, road schooling, those kind of things. What all is that? Because I'm totally clueless, I would say, but very, very excited to listen. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Romil. And we are very happy to address you and your friends today. Thanks for giving this opportunity through Passion Talks. So I will just give a overview of our family, and then I'll also allow each one of them to just quickly introduce themselves. And then we will go into two main things I would say we can focus on about travel, and the other will be about unschooling and road schooling. There's a little bit of adventure also that we do, rock climbing, rappelling, and all that. We can talk about that as well. So about our family, we are weaving a life around travel and yoga, I can say. So Ramya and I, we have both have quit our jobs. I quit around 2.5 years ago. Ramya quit last year. So we are free to travel the way we want. We are free to do whatever we want. And the other thing about us is we pulled our kids out of school last year, and we are doing something called as unschooling. I will define it later. And I think we are also pioneering road schooling in India, right? And we are most famous for going around India, especially to northeast part of India, in our yellow Tata Nano. And, and we go as a full family. Sometimes we also had one of our nephew's dog also along with that.
Nephew and the dog.
Nephew and the dog, right?
Wow.
So we are known to that, and sometimes it surprises people that everybody thinks a 4x4 is required to travel around India and in mountains and in snow, but we do it in nano. So we are most famous or popular for that. But we like to be grounded. We live a simple life. So that is mostly our family background, and I would say. Coming to myself, I think I will introduce myself last. I will allow my wife Ramya to talk first. Tell about herself. We have twin daughters, Amulya and Ananya. So they will very briefly introduce themselves, and then I can introduce myself, and we can go deep into the topics today.
Sure.
Yeah, so I'm Ramya, and I used to be, I was a teacher in school, primary school teacher. I used to teach English and social. I've been a teacher for last 11 years. Then last year I quit, and now I actually take yoga classes now mornings, and then I write. I like writing, so I have my own blog. And apart from that, I do a lot of artwork and many other things.
Wonderful.
Thanks, Ramya.
I love to travel as yeah.
Has to be, that goes without saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would like Amulya to introduce herself. You can come front if you want. Yeah.
Hello everyone, my name is Amulya. I'm 9 years old. I love traveling. And my two favorite places are one place in Boron where there are two dogs, one called Poga and I named one called Snippy. I love those dogs. And in Arunachal Pradesh also there's one place called Rowing. There's a dog there too, but I like that also.
Oh.
And there are many rocks there near the river, so I love that. So, yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, Amulya.
Nice.
Yeah. Ananya. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Ananya. I'm 9 years. I like to travel. I like a place in Arunachal Pradesh called Roing, and there's a river there, so I like to play in the water. I also like a place called Tawang. That's all.
Thanks.
Wonderful.
Thanks, Vishnu. Yeah, and I must tell that, Amulya and Ananya, they have been doing recreational rock climbing, outdoor recreational rock climbing since they were 6 years. And they are into rock climbing, rappelling, and overnight camping as well. And now they teach other kids, or at least their friends, because we help other families to do all these things, and they kind of take a leadership role when we do that. So coming to me, my name is Gangadhar, Gangu in short. Feel free to call me Gangu. An electronics engineer by education. I used to design electronics for defense, Indian defense, and then I quit my job. Job was not bad, but wife encouraged me to quit my job and get into traveling, and we are very happy doing that. I own a very meaningful and small travel business, which is focused on family travel towards Northeast India, Bhutan, and Sikkim. We don't market or do any sales for our travel business. We don't have a website, we don't have a YouTube channel, and we don't blog, because we want only responsible people to travel there, and we are pretty successful at that. What else can I say? We live in Hyderabad right now, but both of us are from Karnataka. I come from a place called KGF, and Ramya comes from a place called Mysore.
Right.
And right now, from last 3.5 years, we live in Hyderabad, and we love Hyderabad because there are so many rocky hills, and we get a wonderful time. And we have at least trained 500 families in rock climbing, rappelling, and overnight camping here. So I think that's briefly what our background is.
But so anybody who would listen to this story would obviously have one question, from an electronics engineer to somebody who's in full-time traveling now. There must have been a lot of things behind this, that going from a proper job to this lot of peer pressure, family pressure, parents, relatives, everybody would say कि पागल हो गया, कहाँ गाड़ी लेके घूम रहा है, बढ़ रहा है, bike. So how was that? I mean, how did that transition happen?
Yeah, I'll give you two answers to that. One short answer. The short answer, the inspiration is here.
That's true.
Ramya went on a trip to Sikkim with somebody, and then when she came back, she said, if that guy can take me and then show these things, I think you can do a much better job. And then when she told that, the next day I spoke to my boss, and 6 months I was out of my job. Right? So that is a short answer.
Right.
The long answer, I think, how we got into travel, Ramya can tell, I think.
Yeah, like he said, I come from a family which is into travel. My dad always liked traveling and spontaneous travel. So I went to Sikkim with a group, and what I saw, we went to this old Silk Route, remote villages in Sikkim. And I would, I like to know the local culture. I like to speak to the local people, go into their houses if they welcome us, have chai with them, sit and chat. So what I saw was the guy who took us, he wasn't talking to anybody, he wasn't introducing, or, he wasn't so interactive. And Gangu and I, when we went on trips, we would just explore places which nobody else goes to and things like that. So I came back and told him that, when he can do it, I think you can do a more meaningful travel and people will really enjoy it. So why not? So that's when, and I could see that by then he was tired of his, the IT jobs are like that.
Yeah, obviously.
It's tiring, so yeah.
So once this happens, would you share the long answer, because that is again important. Short answer we have heard.
Your voice is breaking.
Yeah, your voice is breaking.
Yeah, Gangu, I mean, I want to hear the answer. You are saying this is the short answer. Am I audible? No, let me try with just one thing.
I think you're asking the longer version, right?
Yeah. So you want a little bit more longer version?
Now I can.
Yeah. So, yeah, so let me tell you a little bit more longer version.
Yeah.
So, it so happened that in around 2007, we had to drive. We didn't have kids at that time, and Ramya and I were just married, just about 4 or 5 months, or maybe 6 months max. And
Right.
then we had to drive from Dallas to California. So it was around 3,000 kilometers, and because I got moved to California, and then when we drove, Ramya told one thing that like in this trip, in this move, we will not have any music, and that proved to be wonders. Okay, we had such good conversation, and we like driving in the night mostly because of some reasons, and then it was just the light on the road, and then just the conversation, and we realized after those 3 4 days that like this is bliss. Like during travel, these conversations, deep conversations, is a bonding for us like anything. So I think that is when we realized. And then later on, our in-laws also came there and stayed with us for about 2 3 months, and we traveled like crazy. My father-in-law is like, if every day morning 6 a.m. he will just get up and be ready and ready with, let's say, what is the plan today. That's the kind of person.
Very
Right?
nice.
Yeah. So, it dawned on us that to us that travel is something that keeps us together and bonds like the Fevicol ka jod. So
Great.
yeah, and then when we had kids, then again we decided that after kids, everybody's travel life goes for a toss.
Yeah, I mean, most people compromise on travel, and I mean, both of us didn't want that. I especially never wanted to say that, because I have children, I can't do this. I didn't want to make my children a reason for not doing things which we love, we like to do. So that's when we decided, okay, when with children we will travel, they will also start getting adapted to travel, sleeping at wherever, sleeping in whatever places, and food also. So now my daughters, they're very adapted to food. They eat whatever is available. Like some days, it's just fruit lunch we do, or just a cucumber. We buy some cucumbers, and so we try to keep it as what do you say? I mean, we're all very adaptable. That is what
Yes.
happens.
So one thing I must tell you is we don't believe in planned travel.
Yeah.
So we did a 90-day trip in our Tata Nano. We covered 13,000 kilometers and 15 states and 3 international borders, right? And many people are not ready to believe when we say that not one day was planned.
Yeah.
All 4 of us, we have come to a state where we have so much confidence on our travel, and our travel needs are, we will get up on that morning and decide what we want to do, right? And for that, we don't like to keep any bookings, no itinerary. We just embrace whatever comes our way. We feel that is, in a spiritual way, if you have to say, whatever God has given, that day you make it more beautiful by embracing it. We just believe in that. So our travel has become very unique. There is no tension that I planned this, I booked this, I have to reach there at some point. I have spoken to that guide. None of those tensions are there. If you want to do something, we do something. If you don't want to do something, we just stay in that place.
Yeah, like we started off, we always like spontaneous travel, but after the kids were born, we used to be a little more planned. But then in 2016, Gambu and I, we did a Northeast, that was our first travel to Northeast. We had planned Bhutan and Sikkim, but yeah, we didn't do Sikkim. We ended up doing Meghalaya, we did Bhutan, and we did Assam. Okay, so what happened was, we reached a place called Dibrugarh. We had bookings only for the first 2 nights in Dibrugarh, and we saw around. We went to the Big Boy oil fields and all that, and then we decided that the second day, we decided we'll travel to Sikkim. So we booked the Rajdhani Express, which was available. We took the train, but that day the train was very crowded. And though, I mean, we had the reservation and everything, but still it was too crowded. So I remember the next morning, night we spent in the train. Next morning we reached a place called New Alipurdwar. Yes. And the train stopped there for some, signal.
Train crossing.
Yeah, a train crossing. And Gambu just Googled We were supposed to go to Siliguri, Sikkim. But then Gangu Googled and he found out that Phuentsholing is close by. That is the Bhutan border. So he called one of our, friends in Bhutan and he asked, can we come today? Because it was a Saturday. So he said, yeah, you can come to Phuentsholing, but the permit to enter Thimphu and all, you'll get it only on Monday morning. We said, it's fine. As long as, we can just stay in Phuentsholing, it's fine. So we both said, okay, let's just get off the train. Okay. And
out of a moving train.
So what happened? We moved towards the train door and the train started to move. And Gangu looked at me because he would have anyway got off. He was wondering whether I would be getting off a moving train. I don't advise anybody to do that. But then I was so tired of the fully crowded train. I said, I'm just getting off the train. So we just got off the moving train, took a taxi to the Bhutan border, and yes, yeah.
We had a very nice time.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of confidence that we can, especially in the Northeast, and later on I'll also tell why we love Northeast so much, but we feel at home in Northeast. And I went to Cherrapunji 17 times in the last 3.5 years. So that should show how much we love that place.
Amazing. Luckily I'm listening to you after my travel from Dibrugarh to NJP because I had also traveled once, but then that time I didn't stop at Alipurduar. I just went on till that, and I would recommend other people also to be thinking 10 times before you follow these things. That's amazing, very adventurous experience. So tell me this, what is this unschooling, those kind of terms, you can explain those things because these are kind of new to us. Road schooling, unschooling, that thing.
Yeah. So let me first define these terms because it's not very clear to many, right? Yeah. So what we call as conventional schooling or regular schooling is what we physically send the kid to the school, they finish 10th grade, 12th grade, and they move on to university if they want to pursue higher academics. That is regular schooling or conventional schooling. Now coming to homeschooling, usually homeschooling is a very broad term, but it should not be mistaken to schooling at home. It is definitely not schooling at home, and it should not be mistaken with parents being the only teachers. If these two are true, then homeschooling is a disaster. So what homeschooling is usually the parents and the kids, they decide on a very kind of flexible and open curriculum. And they also may take exams like 10th grade exam, 12th grade exam, and then pursue higher studies. They won't physically go to a school. They will not attend online classes as well, right? So this is typically what a home school is. Unschool is you do not send your child to school nor online classes, and you don't care about the exams. That is what we are doing. We don't care whether our children pass out of 10th, whether they are assessed. We are not interested in assessing our children at all. If they want to, they can go back. It's completely kid-centric. They get up and say, I want to learn this, I want to do only arts. It is okay with us, right? So that's unschooling. Then road schooling is when you want to educate. It's also one form of unschooling, where we have chosen travel as a tool for education. And travel is such an eye-opener, like it opens up your horizon. I don't have to explain to this crowd, all of you have traveled, and these are the way we use these terms. We didn't know that what we were doing was road schooling until last year, right? The word road schooling we heard only last year, but we have been traveling with our kids since 9 years.
Since they were 6-month-old children, we have been traveling.
I heard this term road schooling the moment I saw you about a week back. Before that, I didn't hear this term at all. So thanks for educating these aspects. But this comes with this, the obvious question comes to my mind is, because of this lockdown, I also have 2 daughters. They are home, and then once they are home, the elder one or the younger one, they get frustrated. Papa, kya bore ho gaye ghar pe? I'm sure it's not inside, but then don't miss the school friends, those kind of things, because that's a pertinent thing which comes to our mind the moment you don't go to school. So how does it happen?
Yeah. The audio was a bit unclear, but I think what you're saying, asking is, now that the pandemic is here and you're not able to travel, how do you cope with road schooling, right?
Right.
Yeah. So before that, I have one small thing to tell, because if you just say that while educating on the road or during travel, that is called road schooling, people don't get it. I'll first give you an example of how exactly road schooling appeals to a child. And then I will address, how it is affecting us during the pandemic, right? So let me take an example. All of us have read about a water cycle in 5th grade or 6th grade. That's where it is taught. So in a book, what water cycle says is, when the sun is out, the mist or the water vapor goes up, and then it forms a cloud, and then the cloud becomes dark, it cools down, and then the rain falls down, and again the rain goes back to the ocean or the sea, and then the water comes up as vapor again. This cycle goes on. This is what I have read. But you will be surprised to hear that in Cherrapunji, in Meghalaya, on a sunny day in summer, my kids can actually watch the water cycle happen in front of them twice a day, right? And this is experiential learning, right? So experiential learning is like learning a bicycle. Once you learn a bicycle, you will never forget it. So my kids, while watching that, they may not know that it is water cycle. They may not get that term. That they'll figure it out later. But the thing that they told, hey, see, that mist is coming up. Oh, these two are actually joining together. See, it became a cloud. Oh, the color changed. And then it is raining now. That will never go out of their mind. So there is an academic equivalence that I'm bringing to you. So that is one way where you can actually teach academics if you want. But most important is, this is not teaching. This is the kids experiencing, and later on, there will be a recall. When somebody tries to teach us or they want to use this information, there will be 100% recall. We have seen that. Then let me talk about ethics, honesty, passion, bringing out humanity. So there is, or bringing perspective in life. So there is, let me take another example. I always take the same example. When we were traveling in Arunachal Pradesh on an evening, it was around 4:30 in the evening, getting dark at that time, and we were not very sure about our route. And then we kind of lost our route, but we knew that route was deserted ahead, and we went to a place, and then there the executive engineer of that place, without asking any questions, he ensured that we have an accommodation. People around that village just came around and said, what will you do for dinner? We said, we don't know what we are going to do. We are not stocked up enough. They made Maggie. So our kids are seeing this random kindness, isn't it? So one day when they are in a position to help somebody else, I am sure this would have rubbed into them, right? And these kinds of experiences is very difficult to bring it about in urban setup. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but for my kids to see these things, it is very rare. Mostly we are seeing in urban setup is how to make life comfortable for ourselves. But here they are seeing that totally unknown people went out of their way and made their evening work, right? So these are, I would say, two concrete examples. Now coming to how the pandemic is actually working, see, we take everything with equanimity. Between Ramya and I, travel or no travel, we will have fun, right? God gave us travel, we took it. God is not giving us travel, it's okay. But we are able to do a lot of rock climbing because those places nobody is there, right? We go. And then I think I'll allow Ramya to explain how kids are learning life skills in the house, isn't it? That you would be able to tell.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we as a family, we love spending time together. So pandemic has given us a lot of time at home. So one of the things is, of course, maid not being there for 2 months. The kids also had to pitch in. They used to mop and sweep. Now at 9 years, I don't know if you can see, they are making their own dinner from past 10 minutes. So that is what they're doing. So yeah, so they make their own dinner. They can manage the entire house on their own. During this pandemic time, we live in a society of 1,500 families. So we have a supermarket here. We have other shops. So we needed to, we have formed a volunteer group who manage the social distancing, the mask and everything. So we take turns. The past 2 months when the lockdowns happened, March, April, and May, we used to take turns at these supermarkets, where we would stay there and guide each customer who comes. So Gangu and I were part of that volunteer group, and we would go there, and the kids would be home alone, managing everything. They would put the clothes for wash and everything. So that is how, and they also learned that even during times of pandemic when many people were just staying at home and being afraid, they saw that their parents were going out to help others. I would go for food distribution at a place where there were these laborers, standard laborers from outside of Hyderabad. So I would go there to distribute food with my colony people. So like that, they got to see a lot of things, and they learned a lot of things. Yeah, so we spent a lot of good time, and this has been a different kind of learning. They have been doing a lot of artwork. So yeah, we've been very engaged and quite happy.
Wonderful. So Gangu, tell me this, the kind of things which you've been doing, traveling so much, they must have been very different kind of experiences. So the most adventurous experience you've had, in your last few years of travel, wherever you've had, the most exciting experience.
Can someone repeat that question for me, please? I couldn't hear him.
I'm asking the adventurous experience of yours while traveling.
No, still it's not clear. Are you able to understand?
I think Romil is asking what the most exciting stuff you've done while traveling.
Most exciting stuff?
In travel?
Yeah, travel.
With a sailor person.
There have been many exciting places, exciting stuff. So yes, Sela, we drove at 14,000 feet, that is Sela, Arunachal Pradesh, in our nano, where I would say there's no road, but there is a path, and it was fun driving there. Of course, the first snow experience for my daughters, so that was very exciting. Apart from that, of course, meeting people. And one of the things was, this is not exciting exactly, but memorable experience. When Gangu and I traveled to Bhutan, what happened was we went to this place called, what was the place, Gangu, in Bhutan?
Which one?
The highest point?
Tiger's Nest.
No. The highest point. Okay, so we went to one of these.
I think is it huh?
I forgot the.
Chalela Pass is there.
Hello.
Is this Chalela Pass? Sorry.
Yeah, Chalela Pass. Yes. So we went to the Chalela Pass, and there was a family there on top of the hill who had lost their 8-year-old child just a week back. And the family had come there for the ninth day ritual or something, where they tied flags in the memory of the child. So when we went there, they suddenly saw us and they said, "You have come unexpectedly and you are like auspicious guests for us. So you have to spend time with us. You have to have food with us." And that was kind of, that was a very nice experience. Getting to know them and seeing how they handle that kind of grief, and they were all, quite normal for for somebody who had lost their child. On the 9th day, they were quite normal. It was like it is part of life. That is how they treated it. So that is one memorable experience. So like that, we've had quite a lot. On the 90-day trip, I think I'll let Gangu talk about it more.
Yeah, one thing I can tell is when I was traveling in the 90-day trip was in April 2019. It started in March. In April, if you remember, the elections were, the national elections were out at that time. And then when I used to drive in the night, there would be so many checkposts checking who's traveling and what are they carrying. And in some places where I felt it's a bit unsafe and unknown area, the road is not good, what I would do is I would, to some unknown police, I would say, once they see that the daughter is sleeping behind, then they will ask me to just leave. They won't check anything. That is one thing that I really liked it. There is still humanity left. It's not just rules. The second thing is, some places I have told them, please take down my number. In 2 hours, you please give me a call. If I'm not answering, that means I am in trouble. Okay, that kind of help I have taken. And people have promptly called me after 2 hours, right? To just to ensure whether I am traveling properly, if I have any problem, just amazing. Then, of course, the most adventurous that we have done is our 7-day trip from Guwahati to Tawang and back to Guwahati in our Tata Nano. And people in Tawang, many of them had not seen a Nano because no Nano perhaps has ever reached Tawang, or maybe very few have reached and they have not seen it. And we had become the news in their WhatsApp groups.
Yes.
They had taken picture that a Nano has arrived in Tawang.
Nano in Tawang, that was yeah.
And I still have a snapshot of that going around in Tawang. These are some of the things I would say are exciting for us.
So in fact, that Nano's photograph also I had shared with all my groups about this talk. So that was again, main point of the interaction today. So that
Okay.
I'm sure is amazing experience. Okay, what I wanted to know was that, if the children are not going to school, they don't interact so much with their friends and all. So how do you cope up with that? Because my kids, they have this problem कि पापा आपके साथ ही रहते हैं सुबह से लॉकडाउन में बैठे हैं बोर हो गए. I mean, they keep fighting, rebellious sort of a thing. How do you manage your kids in that manner?
Okay, so this is the top question that I get on every forum when we say that we are homeschooling, unschooling, or road schooling, anything out of school.
Yeah.
So first of all, I would say that kids getting socialization or socializing or meeting their peers, it is a myth that it happens only in school. First, let me tell you what happens in school, and then I'll come to real life, right? In school, they go and then 15 minutes before the bell is when they get to socialize. Then they have continuous classes, and between classes, 1 or 2 minutes they get to talk. Otherwise, they are just listening, okay, to the teacher. Then after the last bell, they get another 10-15 minutes before either the parents come and pick up or the bus, right?
Right.
So that is one. So they're very limited. We think that there is a lot of interaction happening, but it's very limited. But we should not play it down. That also will be good. I'm not saying it is bad. I'll come to my part where socializing is very good otherwise also. Then the second thing is there may be 1,000 students in the school of various age groups, but any kid, if you ask, they will be very close to only 2 or 3 kids.
Yeah.
And it is not easy to replicate that in our life, right? Right? So,
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, so now let's see what happens when we pull them out of school. In our case, since we do a lot of this travel, they have friends. I can't say close friends. We have family friends. We have family friends in Tirupati, we have in Shillong, we have in Kohima, you name the place, right? We have even on the Myanmar border also, we have some in Manipur, Imphal, in remote places like Tamenglong where there is no proper facilities. We have family friends everywhere now, and we can confidently call them family friends. And slowly their kids and all are getting to know them, and then it will go. But we also stay in a society where there are 1,500 families.
Yes.
Right, so we ensure that 4:30 to 6:30 in the evening they have to go out, and they cannot go out and stay in somebody's house.
They go out and play in the play area.
Right.
So
all kinds of interactions happen, like jealousy, fighting, love, care, and they meet all age groups of people. And when we go for rock climbing and rappelling and local events that I do in Hyderabad, they meet a lot of other kids and they get leadership qualities also. It's at least an opportunity for leadership qualities. So it doesn't affect us. But if somebody is, in a single house, they don't have much social circle and all that. The thing is, we should go by what the kid wants. Right? Some kids are silent by nature.
yes.
They just want to
Child, as a teacher, what I have seen is a child who is introvert or who does not like to mingle, even in school, they are the same. It is not that, they go ahead and make lots of friends just because they're going to school. So children The ones who like to socialize, they will find their social circle, no matter whether it's at school or at home. They will, children are born to be, I mean, many of them, they're born to be social. So they will go say hi and talk to others. So my daughters, since they go on a lot of adventures, Gangu, he's part of this adventure club. So they go with that, and they have made friends with all the people in the adventure club. So that way they have a lot of friends. They are also not of the age where they can form close friendships yet. They are just getting to that.
Right.
And also in their case, if you look at twins are generally very close to each other. So they going for another friend is very rare amongst the twins. It happens later, but till now they are each other's close friends. So they were born with their friends. So
Wonderful. Okay, at this point, I would request the viewers, in case of any questions, please feel free to write on the chat box. In some time, we'll be taking those questions, whatever questions you have. Another question I want to know is, what is this fascination towards Northeast? India is so big, so many other places. You've been to Cherrapunji 17 times, you were saying. I've been only once. But then, what is this fascination? Why time and again Northeast is coming in your, whenever you're talking?
Okay, so again, I'll give a short answer and a long answer.
Okay.
The short answer is, we feel that Northeast is a very advanced society, right? And our definition of advanced is, they care for the nature, yet they know how to be modern.
Right.
They are not just talking about nature, but they actually deal with nature in a very careful and a very respectful way. They still have values. They respect elders. They have kindness. It is a very safe place to travel, right?
yeah,
And
especially for women, it is very safe, Northeast.
yes. So they have understood that money is not the most important thing, right? They also understand that people like me and Ramya, who come from urban setup, we are trying to move away from a money-oriented thinking to a life-oriented thinking, and they appreciate that. They see that. They're able to see that in us. The struggle is within us, and then they appreciate that. And we have had, stellar experiences, right? So random people helping us in random ways, right? They are not judgmental. Only one thing is, if we behave disrespectfully with them, we had it.
Yeah.
We had it. That's the only thing, right? As long as we are respectful and kind to them, they're fine.
Yeah. One thing is, see, in the Northeast, they don't have the differentiation in labor. A driver or whatever their job is, they do, they expect you to respect them as anybody else. So if you just think, okay, he's a driver, I'm going to boss him around, that's it. He will not talk to you, or he won't do whatever you ask him. But if you are respectful, talk to them like everybody else, then they go out of their way to help. That is what we have seen. And people are very helpful. In Arunachal Pradesh, I remember, we would stop on the road to ask for direction. And people would say, Andar Raja, come for a cup of tea. Why don't you, just strangers on the road. And at one place, there was some kind of party happening on the road. Again, we stopped there for some direction. And those people insisted that, we should have some food or drink with them and then only leave. So like that, people are very kind, and even now they're very trusting. They've not been, corrupted by, our city way of life.
Yep.
They still trust people. They still are very friendly. Yes, yeah.
Yes. And for the obvious reason, which I can tell now that I've covered the important reasons, is obviously for the beauty of the place.
Yes.
So pristine, right? If you take Arunachal Pradesh, you might know it's such a big state, but there are only 20 lakh people, right? Where else would I get such pristine places? And nobody else would be there. It is like a National Geographic place. The water is blue-green, right? I don't know why people have to go to Maldives for all those places, spend so many lakhs. You can just go there in few thousands, pristine places, like we are able to see 55 million year old fossils inside a cave, right? The conversations that we have is amazing. The night skies are millions of stars on a clear day.
Yeah.
Never get to see this, right? And very good. We are vegetarians. Many people think that Northeast means only non-veg. That is not true. We are vegetarians and we get very good print. Everything is organic.
Yeah.
There is no question of any pesticides at all there, but they don't go on how much yield, right? They just go on good quality. The local fruits are so yummy that we just feel like feasting on them. I mean, the reasons go on and on. And some of the reasons why people travel with me, number one is I travel along with them to Northeast. Every one of my trip I travel along with them and then give them the best experience that I can give. And it is all offbeat experiences. One exclusive thing that I would tell to many people who don't know about Northeast is in WhatsApp there is a very popular video that goes about a whistling people in Turkey. But many people don't know that actually there's a whistling tribe in India and they are only 50 kilometers away from Shillong. And when we go there and then when I show my customers or myself, by afternoon, I have actually sat with a housewife, okay, she whistles and then her husband, she whistles the tune of his name and then the husband is working on the next mountain, okay, in the field, they do that zoomer cultivation or something, na? And then he realizes among other 50 other people, oh, my wife is calling my name. Then he replies back in the tune and you can hear that also.
Wow.
Right? And then they can go to a few sentences as well. And we got chances to ask her, when your kid was born, why did you name this tune? Right? And when you get such a deep experiences, right? I get to make some bamboo baskets sitting along with them. Then I see maths and I am like counting 1, 2, 3, 4, but this person is stuck. Maths is in his brain. He doesn't know it is maths. So these experiences are like, they just are magnets for us. So we've decided next 4 or 5 years, we want to go exclusively to Northeast for road schooling.
Yes.
Wow, great. No,
Yeah.
I personally am a big fan of Northeast, having spent best of my years there. I was there for 3 years, right from Limekong, Zakhama, then right Imphal, Tamenglong, Tawang.
Wow.
So whatever you have said, I mean, and from Dibrugarh along that side, Pasighat also I've seen.
Pasighat,
So
yes.
I can relate to it because I mean you are kind of reliving those kind of words again. I can just go through them once again. So great listening to you. Now it's time we'll take questions, because there are a lot of exciting questions which have come up. I'll just take it one by one. So Commander Raturi, the one we were interacting just before this and who's training his daughter into sports big time in Bangalore, he wants to know how do you cater for social requirements for your girls while road schooling? Because that's a very pertinent question again. With girls in a family, this issue at times is there. So how do you cater for that?
Socializing, is it?
Yeah, I mean social requirements for a female are different and for a girl child again are different.
Okay. So social requirements as in how do they interact with other people? What is this exactly you're trying to?
Raturi sir, can you come online please? I think it will be better if he's there personally asking.
Hi. It was nice talking to you and listening to you because my daughter and wife both are here right now.
Hi.
The question which comes is, the girl go to school, she has friends, she talk to them, and make friends. And in this case, how you managing that? So that was one of the social requirements. How you do that?
Okay. So my daughters have lots of friends because we live in a society of 1,500 families. And apart from that, they do go on a lot of adventures. So they've made friends over there. And like I said, they are each other's best friends as of now. So they have each other. And so we have never felt that they are lacking in any way socially till now. They enjoy, they talk to everybody. Just now my daughter came and told me that, they met some really good friends in the sports arena. We have a sports arena in the colony. She said we met some really good friends today. So, so they play with, and they attend classes like Taekwondo and Bharatanatyam and all. As of now, it's online, of course, but previously, offline they would go. So yeah, it's been taken care of and they're fine.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Luis, the second question again is from you. I mean, on the university and 10th and 12th pass things. Can you ask again?
Yeah, one of the basic questions which comes is your child is studying and thereafter he has to take up a career. For that, there are two basic exams which are required: 10th pass and 12th. So how you are looking forward for that? If tomorrow your child want to go to a university, how are you going to cater for those requirements?
Yeah, sure. Very, very good question. I was hoping somebody will ask this, right? So I am connected. First, I'll come to my kids a bit later, but then let me give you a little bit of reality. I am connected to a very big network of homeschoolers, unschoolers, and I know a family in Pune where the two daughters have not written even one exam in India, no 10th, no 12th. But can you believe that their first daughter is actually doing MBBS in Rhode Island in US now? It is possible, right? It is definitely possible. And how it was possible, I have the full details because I have full access to that girl, and I can tell you those details also. So I am talking with a lot of real life experiences. There is another mother again from Lonavala. She has 3 kids. And those kids went through 10th grade and 12th grade through this NIOS, National Institute of Open Schooling, which is an MHRD, a government initiative, and the certificates from there are by the government of India. It is accepted by every university in India and outside the world. Okay, and I have people who have been accepted into university. Her own child is topping a university in Haryana. And this certificate 10th and 12th is recognized by all government and non-government private sector in India. You can get a defense job, you can get a pharmaceutical job, nurse, lawyer, you can do whatever you want. You are at an equal part with CBSE because this is also under the NCERT program. Right? So this is it. Now coming to my kids. So there are 2 ways. At some point of time, my kids might say that, no, I want to go back to a school. It is possible. We should never assume that they don't want to go to school. So when they say that, we should know that as per the laws prevailing in India right now, as per the Education Act, to take a 10th standard exam in NIOS or in CBSE or in IGCSE syllabus, which are the popular ones, we do not need to pass. The kid does not need to pass 1st to 9th grade. Directly, the kid can actually take 10th grade exam. This is as per the law of India. Many people do not know. All we have to do is we have to give a proof that the kid is 14 years of age and then they have studied enough to take the 10th grade exam. That is all that is required as per law. Now the second part of it is, let's say that my kids say that never, I don't want to go to school. No exams, nothing. Anything is possible. See, the way we are going to bring up our children is not that they can just become doctors, lawyers, engineers, architects, like what the society looks as a correct one. Our belief is education as of today is mostly looking at employability, right? All 12 years of education is how you can get the best marks in the entrance exam so that you can get into the best university, right? And what is the best university giving you? Giving you a good job. What is the definition of good job? It's a high paying job. There lies the problem, right? It is okay. Somebody wants to do this, let them go. We are not criticizing. But what we are saying is we don't want that life for our children, right? And by road schooling, by homeschooling, unschooling, whatever methods that we do, they will be much more capable of all these things. Only if they can do something better than what the school can do, then we are very sure that we can give a better life to them. And they'll have so much confidence that throw whatever you want at me, I have so much life experience that I will become something. Then only we should actually take up these things, I feel, right? Because these kids will be much, much better, wholesome individuals. They'll be more useful to society. Getting them into a common job will be like diluting their whole process of unschooling and homeschooling. They should be able to contribute more to the society, not just do a job and fill their own bank balances. So we think like that.
Great.
So it's okay, yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Ratudise, for asking such a wonderful question. I mean, and thanks, Gangu, for addressing it so well, because these kind of things not I mean, nobody else would know. Now there's another person who wants to know. A 90-day road trip is a huge thing, because I remember I traveled from Hyderabad once I was coming to Ambala, and we had a tough time. But then it was more like finishing in 4 days and reaching as early as possible. So why did you do a 90-day trip and not maybe a 10-day or a 30-day? 90 days is a huge, I mean, very long time.
Yeah.
How about that?
Again, very good question. So we have done those trips in the last 7-8 years, right? We have done 2,000 kilometer trip, 3,000 kilometer trips, 10 days trip, 15 days trip, and all that. And what we thought is I had quit my job in 2018 Jan, right? So if to do again those 10 days trips and all those things, there's no need to quit our job, isn't it? Right?
Correct.
If we want to do something that is life altering, then we want a very long period of time, we thought, right?
Yeah.
So we decided on 90 days, and why 90 days is I had lost my father the previous June, 2018 June, and I finished my entire trip, and I met my family and the extended family down in south, in near Trichy, yeah, Tiruchirappalli, or Trichy, what we call. So it was kind of thing for me, because my father gave me such a good life and open life. He made me believe that I can do anything in life whenever I wanted. So it was kind of a tribute to him also, that I will finish all this and then go down south, finish his first year funeral, his first year ceremony, and then go back home. So I would say it is like that. And
Okay.
yeah, if you go ahead and talk to
So I just wanted to add that our way of travel is very, many people do that nowadays. We we go to the same place again and again because we want to experience the complete place. And sometimes, we go to a place and we say, today we are just staying here for 2-3 days. We don't want to go anywhere else. So we just stay there, or, sometimes we just stay in the resort or a hotel room, or with if by chance, we have got a homestay, or with somebody in the village. So we
Or in the car.
yeah, or in the car. So we do that. We like to have a very relaxed trip, no hurries, just enjoy the travel. So yeah, that is something.
Great.
Yes, yes, and I also, one more thing is, like I told you, we do not invest in marketing or sales of our travel business. All the budget that I have for marketing and sales, I use it on our own travel. So we travel, and then we keep posting and sharing those information to meaningful people whom we know are responsible travelers. And indirectly, it helps our travel business as well. And one more question also I will answer, which is not asked: why Nano? Many people are you nuts? Okay, why did you take a Nano of all the cars? The answer is simple. We only own a Nano. We don't own another car. So we had another car, we sold it off after knowing that the Nano is a very good car, right? And then the other thing is, see, I am 45 now, going to turn 46 soon. At my age group, many people, my peers, thought that you should have a SUV, you should have a 4x4 to do this out of life-altering trips and all that. I didn't know. Is it really required? Something told me that you can do much more than what you have, rather than waiting for something to happen in life. So we didn't want to prove a point to somebody else. First, we wanted to show ourselves that yes, it is possible. Because we also want to go towards a less materialistic life, a more frugal life, more on experiences rather than filling our bank balances. So to prove to ourselves that it is possible, we did it. And the car, because of the car, not one day we stopped our travel.
Yeah, and also one more thing I would add is, in India, if you're doing a road trip, you travel through very small villages. So the roads are, quite small. Very narrow spaces. And a Nano is a blessing to drive in those roads. So it just, the space it requires is so less, and I have long legs, so as a person with long legs, I find Nano the most comfortable of all the small cars. Yeah, of course, SUVs have, but Nano has a lot of space to in the front and all, and also like see, both of us are. If you take a SUV, it simply consumes more fuel, so you
Yes.
are harming the nature and so many things. So we do look for. I mean, I always have this thing. I see people traveling to their offices in in a single person in an SUV. And I always feel that, why are they doing this? Because the best thing is when your car is full and you're using it to its complete,
Capacity.
capacity. Yes. So that is the way it should be. I mean, nature friendly, I would say. Nano is quite nature friendly.
Okay, now one more question from Avani is, how many hours do you drive at a stretch? Because this again is important. So do you come with any fixed plan that tomorrow I'm going to drive for 6 hours, 10 hours, 2 hours? Anything you have on this? How do you do that?
Yeah, very good question. So I must tell that when Ramya and I together are there, we both drive. Ramya is a good driver. She's driven in many mountainous roads and all that, so we don't have a problem. When both drivers are there, we don't even care about planning or anything because we don't know what is our destination, right? On the way, we decide where to stop. So
Right.
usually for us, we do not plan, but we have some thumb rules. Okay. First thumb rule is if we are feeling sleepy, immediately we stop. Next petrol bunk, go there, fill the petrol, ask him, is there a chowkidar, give him 100, 200 rupees, say that, sir, we are going to put our car here, sleep here till we feel fresh, and then please take care of the car. Okay, that is the first thumb rule. Second, sometimes we don't know we are sleepy, sometimes we don't know we are tired. So what I do is, this is something that I learned in my corporate. I know she asked how long do you travel? The short answer I already gave that we don't plan. But I'm telling you what are all the things that needs to be taken care with distance in mind. So I used to work in a company which is CMMI level 5. That means they could predict how many bugs are going to be in their software code. So in driving, I have also implemented a CMMI level 5 as I know. So whether an accident happened or not, I just check how many misses happened. Okay, if a dog just went by, and then even if I didn't hit the dog, but it was a close call, that I count as one. This I do especially when I am traveling alone. And if the count goes more than 2, that means I have to stop, even though I have 1000% confidence.
Wow,
Right? Yeah.
that's interesting.
Yeah. So this is our thumb rule, and I have driven from Chandipur in Orissa to
Right.
Gangtok. Okay, that's about 900 kilometers in 36 hours with around 3 to 4 hours of sleep. Why? Because
Wow.
I should continuously fulfill this criteria that I have set for myself. Right?
True.
So
That's
it is like that also. And some days we don't travel. We just say we want to sit down, relax.
amazing. Great measure, I would say. One last question from a friend of mine, Shekhar. He wants to know, can you ask about the daughter's interest? He himself, Shekhar, is a big proponent of homeschooling, and so that's why he wants to know, interest of your daughters, anything they love to do apart from travel, of course.
Yeah, Gangu.
Shekhar.
Yeah, this is
Hi.
Colonel Shekhar here, and we are also unschoolers.
Very nice to meet you.
Yeah. And my elder son is 14 and younger one is 8, and just like you, our children have never gone to school. And
Very nice.
so I could resonate with every word that you were saying, and the community that we are, how we support each other, and there are no definitions, there are no words in which we can actually explain this journey. This is a journey to be experienced. So
Yes.
can you talk a little more about your daughters? How are they? What are their interests, and how do you support facilitate their interests?
Yes, sure. And I think my daughter was asking if she can play the harmonica. Let us start with that. Just play the harmonica. Yeah, quickly. I don't think we have much time, isn't it?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. you. Thank you, Amulya. Yeah.
Super.
So I will just give a couple of more words to understand what she's doing. Unschooling is so beautiful, and Shekhar also will know. Amulya does not have a music teacher. Okay. So she, before she quit school, there's something called as a recorder. They had taught her notes in that. And then one of my good friends, he gifted her this harmonica, and he told her that numbering 1, 2, 3, 4. And then she came back home, and then somehow she figured out that notes, the ABCD notes, and this 1, 2, 3, 4, she found out the equivalent. And then wherever she doesn't get the equivalence, she uses an app in the mobile, the Perfect Piano, and she figures out. And now what she says, and I would like to stress upon this, is she says, Appa, she calls me Appa. She says, I don't know how I play, but my mouth automatically goes to it Appa, when I want to play the song.
Wow.
Miracle, right? That we can give to kids. Okay, I don't know in what better ways I can explain, and I feel really good because this is beyond something that I can teach. This is beyond some school or any kind of teacher can do because this is coming from inside, right?
Right.
I would just like to add something. We have twin girls, so they're born on the same day, same parents. So obviously they just have 2 minutes difference between their timings, but they're very different. One is completely into art. She loves to stitch. She loves to draw, paint. Like every time there's a festival, she likes to decorate the house, put the rangoli in front of the house, dress up, and all that. And she likes to cook. She loves to cook. So she likes to take care of people. Actually, she already loves to serve people and like that. The other one, she is completely opposite. She also likes art. She likes drawing and whatever, but she has a very organized way of going about it. The other one is more of she comes from her heart. Whatever it feels, she'll do that. This one has more rules. She will follow the rules. It has to be done like this. She will do it like that. So she likes a lot of math. She likes science. Both of them love animals. So they know a lot about animals, which we also don't know. So they know, they talk about so many different kinds of animals. I've never heard them in my life. So and also, as of now, they are getting into preteens. They'll be 10 soon in October. So for now, Amulya is very interested in Harry Potter. So she finished her 4th book recently. She'll be reading this one. So she loves reading. Ananya is into music, and for now she loves Michael Jackson. She's been trying to do his dances, learn the lyrics. So that is what is happening. So they have interest in almost everything. I can't say this or that. They love things.
Great. So nice.
Yeah.
So
Where exactly are you guys based?
Sorry?
Where exactly are you guys based?
We are based out of Hyderabad right now.
Hyderabad, okay.
How about you?
We are in Nashik right now. That's my
Hi,
wife,
hi.
Sanjeevani.
Nice to meet you.
Hello. Yeah, nice to meet you too. I think we are coming to somehow connect with you guys. It will be nice to connect to other unschooling parents.
Yes,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
You mentioned about somebody in Pune whose daughter is doing because we belong to Pune.
Yeah, I'll share the number with you once we connect.
What is their name? Do you know?
Her name is the one in Lonavala is June Mendes.
Yes.
You might know. The other is Kapsetkar, Shweta Kapsetkar.
No, that one I don't know. Yeah. June Mendes is Urmila's friend.
Their daughters actually play national. They used to play national level tennis.
Acha. Okay. No, I'm not aware. No. We have also not been in Pune for almost 10 years now. So, you know. Yeah. It's lovely.
We will. I'll surely share number with you separately.
Yeah.
We'll stay in touch.
Certainly. Thanks a lot.
Chalo, thanks guys, Gangu and Ramya. I mean, it was great listening to you guys. And Shekhar and me, we've been knowing each other for past 26 years. We were classmates in the National Defense Academy, and the tune, I mean, your daughter played was, I mean, very, very nostalgic because this is the tune we here once you passed out of the NDA and the
Yes.
Indian Military Academy. So, great choice of
Yes.
tune she chose.
Yes,
So, thank you.
Romil.
Yeah.
So if we have 1 minute, I would like to convey this. I've been telling this in all my sessions. There are 3 fundamental requirements from parents before they embrace homeschooling, unschooling, or road schooling. Would we have a quick 1 minute?
Sure, please go ahead.
Okay. So this is, I would say, the collective wisdom of all the people that I have interacted with, including a second generation unschooler whose daughter is 30 years old. And I am happy to share this with you. Okay, the number 1 requirement for parents, I'm talking about parents, potential homeschooling, unschooling, or road schooling parents, irrespective of this. The number 1 thing is required is between the husband and wife, there has to be 100% clarity on why you want to remove your kid from the school. It should not be like it worked for somebody else, it worked for Gangu, I heard somebody else, and I'm also going to try it. That doesn't work. And when I say this, I should also be clear, it's okay for the husband and the wife to have their own methods of homeschooling. That is okay. One might think that travel is good, other might say that yoga is good. That's okay. But what are your personal reasons because of which you are pulling your kids out of school has to be 100% clear. That is number 1.
Right.
Number 2, one parent, not an aunt, not a grandfather, not a nephew, not a niece, right, should have 24/7 time to observe the child. Many people think I'm going to say teach the child. Teaching is not required. The child in fact will teach us, right? So we should understand that as parents, our primary responsibility is to observe our children and see how they learn. What are their very unique ways of learning? Once we unlock that magic, then any kind of schooling, homeschooling, conventional schooling, road schooling becomes very blissful, right? But unfortunately, including the current schooling education system, they don't spend time on the kid. They don't see who the kid is. They just think that one thing is, one straight jacket is enough, fits everybody, right? So the second fundamental is one parent has to spend time 24/7 and observe the child. What are unique ways of learning and become kid-centric. And the third important thing is, at any point of time, if you're going to start comparing our kid with a kid that is going through a different way, any kind of education, that is going to be a disaster. Yeah. No, till 9th grade I'll allow my kid to homeschool, but in 10th grade he has to get 99.99. Okay, 12th grade hona hi chahiye, IIT mein hona chahiye, MBA hona chahiye. You have all that kind of expectations. No, they have to get a good groom, good this one, high paying salary. Please do not take any of these steps. Better regular schooling is better. So with this, I think I would end my session. And after this also, the kids have to embrace homeschooling. This is just the parents being ready for it, but they still have to give time for the kids to say yes or no. And they should respect that yes or no. Just because we are ready now with these 3 fundamentals doesn't mean that we have to take them out of school. Yeah. Right?
Very true.
So I would say, parents who are potential homeschoolers, please take care of these 3 fundamentals.
Wonderful. Okay, so then thanks Ramya, thanks Gangu. I mean, very enlightening. I mean, for us, it was totally new. For Shekhar, I'm sure he's been doing for so many years, so he knows it. But then thank you so much for your time. We really enjoyed, and anyone else who's listening to this and wants to connect, please feel free, and we'll be able to patch you to each other. Thank you so much once again. Good night. Jai Hind. Bye. See you next Saturday.
Yeah.
Jai Hind. Bye-bye.
Bye guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.